Welcome to Hearts of Iron 4, the only game with the Anschluss in it. Or does it? You see, while creating a video showing you how to 1v1 Germany as Austria, I stumbled upon something that I had no idea was even possible. By taking advantage of Austria's least popular focus tree and a whole lot of min-maxing, I found it was actually possible to make independent, no-factions Austria so incredibly strong that the Anschluss cannot trigger. That's right, no Comintern, no allies, no help from anyone. So, if you're ready to see how I accidentally became too strong to Anschluss, let's get started. How's it going, fellas? My name is Josh, and welcome to the country of Österreich. You see, you like that? I took exactly 2 weeks of German language class, and they taught me the German word for Austria. So yeah, das ist sehr gut, ja? Now, if you've played a single game of Hoi 4, you know that Austria is known for exactly one thing, and that is the Anschluss. You know, that one time that Austria decided they were going to be a submissive little boy for Germany. And you know, I normally don't kink shame, but when it leads to this amount of war crimes being done, I raise a few eyebrows. So today I am putting a stop to the Anschluss by myself as Austria. That means no joining the Germans, no joining the Soviets, no joining the Allies. We're gonna be doing this 100% on our own. And that means we gotta do some min-maxing. Now, when it comes to min-maxing in this game, you gotta take every opportunity you can get. This game offers a ton of unique rewards, like the legendary champion Xenomorph, who's completely free. Oh yeah, this game is Raid Shadow Legends. Come on, don't be mad, you know that was a good segue. Raid Shadow Legends is partnering with the 20th Century Games to bring 2 new legendary champions, the Xenomorph and the Predator, into the game. Simply log into Raid Shadow Legends for 7 days to get yourself the legendary Xenomorph champion and utilize their special Poison and Veil debuffs to control the battle, or the special Infest debuff to revive itself mid-battle. But if you're like me and you think the Predator is just way cooler than the Xenomorph, don't at me. You can also unlock this legendary champion by completing the one-time purchase Elite Champion Pass. He comes with a completely unique armor and sword design based off Predator Badlands and excels at counterattacking. Now, if you're still waiting to give Raid Shadow Legends a try, don't. No, really. You can use my link or QR code legitimately right now and be playing in the next few minutes. And if you do in fact use my personal link, you'll be given a huge starter pack including 3 free legendaries and 2 free epics. The free epic Lightsworn, who is available immediately and is one of the strongest force affinity supports in the game, and once you reach level 15, you'll get the second free epic, the Mausoleum Knight from the Undead Hordes. And if you're a brand new player, you can also use one of the promo codes you see on screen now to unlock one of these 6 legendary champions. Personally, I'm a fan of the big skeleton guy, Mr. Ultimate Death Knight. You can use my QR code or the creator code in the description or the pinned comment below to start playing Raid Shadow Legends today. And be sure to grab yourself the Xenomorph and the Predator before they are gone forever. And while you're at it, be sure to find me and join my clan. Thank you to Raid Shadow Legends for sponsoring this video, and now back to min-maxing. So let's begin by getting acquainted with the starting situation for Austria. We got 5 national spirits, and they're all kinda interesting. Number 1, widespread unemployment. This reduces our political power gain and our stability. This is not the worst one by a long shot, but it is still a negative that we are gonna have to get rid of. Second, Phoenix Insurance. This one is actually a good modifier, which is how you know that it is about to disappear from the face of the planet. Political power gain, 15%. Recruitable population factor, 15%. Stability, 5%. And war support, 5%. This is such a good national spirit. It would be a shame if anything were to happen to it. This is what we call foreshadowing. Next up, recovering from economic depression. This is a bad one. Consumer goods to factories factor 20%. And minus 10% factory output. Altogether, this is bad. This is really, really bad. This causes us to begin the game with 41% of our factories on consumer goods. That is horrible. This one on the end is Austrofascism, which is actually a little bit of a benefit. It gives us stability, daily fascism support, acceptance of fascist diplomacy, and daily support for the unaligned. So overall, it is a bad thing because it means that Hitler's gonna get to Anschluss us much easier than he would have otherwise. And finally, the worst one of them all, the Treaty of Saint-Germain. Factory output minus 50%, facility construction speed minus 100%, military factory construction speed minus 75%, and it also leaves us stuck on volunteer-only conscription. We cannot build a military, and we cannot edit any division. Getting rid of this one is our #1 priority, so let's go ahead and address that. Now, since we're going to be opposing the Germans in this run, we're going to be taking the left path on the political tree. This is going to remove the Austrofascism national spirit. So no more support for the unaligned and no more daily support for fascism. Now, as for everything else in our country, Research is going to be the default, electronic mechanical engineering, basic machine tools, and construction 1. Our entire military is just going to get thrown into an army and legit just do whatever you want with them. Military factories, we've only got 3. We're just going to stick the rest of everything on infantry equipment. We're going to need a lot of infantry equipment if we want to fight the Germans later. And finally, civilian factories, we're just going to do infrastructure in these 2 states right here. We're going to be doing infrastructure only until we're able to change our economic laws. So with everything like this, we're good to unpause the game and just sit here until the focus tree is done. And now it is. So next up on the focus tree, we actually have a choice to make. Now, for the purposes of this video, we are going to be taking the communist path all the way on the left, because A, I bet you haven't seen anybody make a YouTube video on it yet, and B, it's actually really strong. So next up is going to be legalizing political opposition. This is going to give us a little bit of support for communism and democracy, a little bit more political power, and gives us a potential advisor. We're not going to be using that advisor, but we're going to go down this path anyway. And now we unpause the game until we get an event to pop up. And here it is, Phoenix Insurance Scandal. So yeah, this big Phoenix Insurance national modifier that we get, sorry, that gets to go away now. So you've got 2 choices, either let it go entirely or try to save it with some political power. 100% of the time you want to save this. It's gonna cost you political power, but there is a future benefit that we can only do if we eat the cost now to keep them afloat. So take this bottom option, take the political power hit, we need to keep this alive for now. And now once we unpause, we're gonna get a new national spirit, which is covering for Phoenix Insurance. So we get a little bit of the buff that we used to. We lost a lot of political power, but don't worry. Things are going to get better. Unfortunately, it does give us more consumer goods factories factor, which means now 53% of our factories go to consumer goods. This is terrible, but I promise you it is going to get better. And Germany has remilitarized the Rhineland, which means they're going to start putting pressure on us to do the Anschluss. And move on to the next focus, which is going to be this one all the way on the left, Austro-Marxism. This will give us a new national spirit of daily communist support, daily democracy support, factory output plus 10%, and production efficiency growth plus 5%, which is actually a pretty good modifier all around. And we're going to be knocking this one out immediately because the next one in the path requires us to have a certain amount of support for the KPO or the Communist Party, so we need to get on that pretty much as soon as possible. Now we're going to unpause for a second until we get this event right here. German remilitarization causes widespread worry. This is basically telling you, hey, the anti-Anschluss measures are available. Here they all are. So you can see that the current risk of German Anschluss is low. This is because they need to have a certain amount of military above our own in order to actually pull this off. This is why building up a big military is going to be very important for us, because we're going to be able to delay the Anschluss by a whole lot of time. Now, you cannot stop it altogether with this method. Even if you have a military bigger than the German army, they will still be able to do the Anschluss at some point. And I only know that because initially I was going to try to prevent it altogether like that, but sorry, that's impossible. But I will show you how to stall it out as long as physically possible. Now, as for these decisions, all of these state garrison ones are kinda just okay. You get extra division defense on the territories, which is good, but you only need to make sure it's done before Germany declares war on you. So these are not a priority at all. Now, you are also going to get some emergency civilian factory construction, military factory construction ones. These are much better, but I haven't found them to be essential to make any of this work. So we may do that, but they're going to be definitely on the back burner. All we're going to do right now is sit and wait for our political power to bank because I want to hire the silent workhorse once I get 150. We need a lot of political power for this run, so we need to get that going as soon as possible. Our basic electronic engineering is done. I'm immediately going to move on to mechanical computing, and the next focus is done. Austro-Marxism is established, and we have a new national spirit. This bad boy right here is actually pretty good. We like this. And you know, while I'm on the topic of it, I might as well address the leader as well. This leader that we have, Mr. Kurt, is absolutely abysmal. Terrible leader. Stability, minus 10%. Surrender limit, minus 15%. Daily fascism support, plus 0.03. And acceptance of fascist diplomacy, plus 50. So we need to get rid of this guy as soon as possible. That's going to happen later. But figured I'd at least address it. Now, as I've stated before, we cannot continue down this path yet. We need 20% or more support for the KPO, which is the Communist Party, so it's time to move on to another section of the focus tree. You do have this one right here, Reichsbund der Österreicher. Just know that we're saving this for later because it changes the popularity of fascism by a flat 5%, and we're going to be holding on to this for a while. Now, from this point on, you have 3 options. We're not going to be messing with air forces at all. We're going to be speccing into anti-aircraft guns, so we're not going to be doing that middle path there. Now, we've got the option to either begin fixing the economy or by doing secret rearmament. We're going to be doing the economy side because secret rearmament can actually be bypassed later, saving us about 35 days of doing focuses. And like I already said, we're min-maxing. So we're going straight into regulate the finance sector, gives us more political power, and a few other buffs, but those don't really matter all that much. Hit it, knock it out, come back when you're done. Once basic machine tools are done researching, we're going to go immediately into Dispersed Industry 1. And once banked up on 150 political power, we're going to hire an advisor. This guy is going to be the silent workhorse for an extra 15% political power gain. And regulating the finance sector is done. Now, this is going to give you an option of 3 different choices. And normally, I just take the middle one. And that's going to show up in your industrial concerns. That is the central bank right here. We'll grab this eventually, but not yet. Next, focus. Now, at this point, you have some options. There are exactly 3 focuses that we need to get done in the economic side of things, and those are the ones that affect our national spirits. Number 1 is start the apprentice programs. This is going to give us way more political power and way less consumer goods to factories. Another one is the Great Austrian Economic Push. You can't see what this one does yet. I'll go over that once we can, but this is one of the best ones you can take. And finally, bring Phoenix Insurance back from the ashes. This is going to reestablish our beginning national spirit, and that is really, really good. So what we want to do first is push for Phoenix Insurance because devaluating the shilling needs to go for 360 days before you can advance the tree any further, so we want to go ahead and start on that. So economic resurrection is going to be first, and it's not even that bad of a focus to do. 35 days, knock it out. Once construction 1 is researched, we're going to immediately move to excavation 1. And economic resuscitation is done. Next focus, devalue the shilling. Do this as quickly as possible. You're going to take a hit. Yeah, it's just going to happen. Start that and let that run through. And now that one's done too. Now that's going to give you a lot of political power, which means it's time to hire another advisor. This one is going to be the Communist Revolutionary because we need to start getting some communist support actually in the government. Snag him. Next national focus. We're going to be moving on to industrialization effort so that we can work our way down to start apprentice programs. This will give you 2 civilian factories. It's good. Knock it out. Now, with the excess political power that we have right now, we are going to go ahead and start anti-fascist raids. We need to get fascism out of our government as quickly as possible because it is going to start to debuff us if we have too much. But I'll tell you when you actually have to start them. Industrialization effort done. Next focus is going to be one of these 2. Now, they both give you 1 civilian factory, but they also grant you a company. So it really just comes down to your personal preference because we're not really going to have enough political power to activate either of these before we're fighting Germany. So I just take the one on the right for the reinforced rate, but I'll be honest, it doesn't really matter. And yet another focus done. After that, move on to the one right below it. The buffs on this guy really don't even matter, just knock it out. And as soon as you get another 150 political power, you're going to shift your civilian economy to a partial mobilization economy. Should be able to knock that out in just a second. Yep, here we go. Next one, done. We've also got 2 more research slots open. Those are going to go to construction 2 and improved machine tools. We need to build a very, very strong economy with Austria. Now, once you've gone away from civilian economy, we're going to go and start building some military factories in the 2 states that we built infrastructure in. Queue those up, and you should be good for a while. And once you build back up to another 50 political power, we're running another set of anti-fascist raids. Now the research slot is now open. You're going to take Dispersed Industry 2. Another focus is done. Now, we have access to start apprentice programs, but we're not going to be taking that yet because instead we have access to the rest of the political tree. If you've timed everything right, you should have exactly 20% support for the Communist Party right now, and we can do Rally the People. Now, we really don't care about this focus at all. What we really care about is the one below it, renouncing the treaty. This will get rid of the Treaty of Saint Germain, and this is the most important thing to do. So, take Rally the People and then immediately move on to the next one. Focus done. Next one, renounce the treaty. Do this as quickly as possible. This will finally get rid of the worst modifier that we have and allow us to actually build up a military. And once it's done, we're going to get secret rearmament completely bypassed. This saves us about 35 days on actually doing focuses, and that's nice. Now, at this point, once the treaty is renounced, we want to move back over to the other side and actually finish start apprentice programs. This is such a good modifier to have. Take this immediately after. And along with that, we're going to take our entire military and convert them all to the basic infantry division. The basic one is fine, and we're going to start training a lot more. I like to train up 6 batches and set them infinite. They're not going to have enough stuff for right now, but that is okay. And we'll start training these guys as well, just to farm a little bit of army experience. And with the next batch of 150 political power, we're moving up in the conscription law. Limited conscription is next. Now, with your next open research slot, we are actually going to be taking interwar artillery. This is next. Go ahead and grab it. And national focus completed. This gives us a brand new national spare right here. Employment effort, more political power gain, consumer goods to factory reduction, and more stability. And you know, now that I'm looking at it, the national spirit seems to be wrong. Is political power gain plus 10%, but in the focus tree it says 20%, so it seems like there's a little bit of an error somewhere. Regardless though, it's still good. Now we need to move down our actual military path, so take this focus, it gives us 2 military factories. 35 days, it'll be done. We got another open research slot. Next research is going to be support weapons 1. Everything is going exactly to plan right now. And we're also going to run another anti-fascist raid while we're here. And continue as is. Focus complete. Next focus is going to be standardized army training. This gives us 50 army experience and reduced training time. The army experience is the main thing that we're after right now. Go ahead and lock that in, but we will be coming back to the one on the left as well because extra division attack and defense on core territory is just good. At this point, we are going to start banking our political power because we are going to need it, and we're going to be needing a lot of it. We got another research slot open. We're going to be taking trucks this time. The Austro-Daimler ADGR. Yes, snag that bad boy. And another focus done. Now, at this point, you've got another choice to make. We can either go with the left side and take the defensive-oriented general, or the right side and take the offensive-oriented general. Now, personally, I like offense. Yes, we will be playing defense, but eventually we're going to be on the offense, and that's going to make this part way better. Now, if you do take the left side, you get the option to build forts for free on the border with Germany, but newsflash, forts suck now. I hate them. They break way too easily, and in my opinion, they're useless. So we're going to be using a different defensive tactic altogether, so I'm taking my man, Franz Bohme. 35 days, we're going to snag that, and that is going to enable us to actually create a head of army. Right now, we have access to none of them. Taking that focus is going to unlock this man, finally giving us some army experience, and that is going to be nice. Now, from the focus that we just did, we do have access to some army experience, so we're going to use that to edit this base template and get rid of the recon. We don't need it. It takes up needless support equipment. We're just going to save that as is, and that's going to help us actually get troops into the field much faster. And there you go. Immediately, 2 more troops dropped into the field. We're just going to throw them on the front line. That's fine. And if we check over, our current risk of being unschlossed is still low because our military is big enough. We'll actually check the size of it right now. It's about 50,000, which is small, but for this time period, it's okay. And with our next research slot, we're going to be taking anti-aircraft. We need to make sure we get at least tier 1 of these. National focus done. Bohme is here. And we are immediately going to hire him. We got to start building army experience. This is going to be the way to do it. And now we're actually going to start sitting on our political power. We don't need to run another anti-fascist raid yet. We still got 24 days on it. So we're just going to keep this little pile of political power around for right now. And we're going to be moving back over to the economic side of the focus tree and immediately going for Bring Phoenix Insurance back. 70 days, that's all right. And this is exactly why we wanted to start stockpiling. This event right here is basically the Germans trying to infiltrate our stuff. This is where they begin to start reducing the amount of fighting strength they need compared to us to actually do the Anschluss. Now, like I said before, we cannot stop this altogether, but they're also causing us to increase our fascism by 10% and lose 10% stability. Asshole! I can't believe you've done this. We kind of just have to eat this. There's no real way to avoid it, and that's going to send us back to 34% support for fascism, which is yucky. But that's alright. Now, the reason it's important to keep political power banked is they're going to start messing with us a lot more here in the future. So all we're really going to do is keep the anti-fascist raids going, and that's it. Save the rest of your political power. Now, next research slot, we're going to be taking the 1938 medium tank chassis. This is going to be very, very important. Do this. Now, at about this point, we want to go ahead and check our military factories again. We don't really need all of these on infantry equipment. We'll keep the ones that are on now, and now we'll begin to build some artillery. Not a lot of artillery. We'll probably assign 3 factories to it. That should be all right. We'll check the construction. They're still building military factories, so everything is good. And our consumer goods to factories has reduced a bit. It's now below 30%, which is passable, I guess. 29%, that's going to keep going down as we go along. But we're just kind of chilling right now. And the focus is done. Phoenix Insurance is back! And if I forgot to mention it earlier, if you do choose to not bankroll the Phoenix Insurance from earlier, you will not be able to take this focus, which is sad. But now we've got our modifier back. More recruitable population, more political power, more stability, more war support. Everything is good. And now we're going to take the great Austrian economic push as well. And this is basically going to tank the rest of our bad national modifiers. Every national spirit that we have is good except for recovering from economic depression. Once we take this one, it's going to get rid of that, and we are going to be in good shape. Knock that out. Keep holding on to your political power, because we're about to do some weird stuff. Here we go. More attempts at German meddling in Austria. They're essentially asking us to get rid of one of our heads of military. If you want to see him, it is this man right here, Mr. Wilhelm Zenner. He is an army regrouping expert. This guy is actually pretty nice to have around. But that's not the reason I'm going to be saying no. I'm saying no because I'm not doing what the Germans are asking me to do. So we're going to be taking this top one. This is none of their business. Get out of here. Now, unfortunately, what's going to happen is that the Germans are not going to take no politely. If we come over to the anti-Anschluss measures and unpause for a second, we're going to see that they're actually going to try and assassinate him after I told them no. And in order to prevent this, we need to take the decision up security around the high command. This is only 30 political power. Just go ahead and grab it. It's easy. It's only going to take 20 days to do, so make sure you do it 20 days before this one runs out. But that is an easy one to take care of. And now our towed anti-aircraft guns are completed. And now, even though it is a little bit ahead of schedule, I want to go ahead and grab artillery 2. There is a reason for this, trust me. 207 days, go ahead and snag it. And another focus is done. This should get rid of the last negative modifier that we have. We now have economic boom for another reduction in consumer goods to factories, another buff to factory output, and civilian factory construction speed. This now leaves us at only 16% of our factories going to consumer goods, which is excellent, especially for only being on partial mobilization. This is fantastic. Now, at this point, we need to turn our attention to our actual ideologies, because trying to actually flip to being communist is actually pretty difficult as Austria. We need to ensure that anti-fascist raids continue, but we also need to start doing anti-democratic raids as well to help build up as much of a pie chart in favor of communism as possible. So I'll grab that, and I will also be grabbing another advisor, and that will be this man right here, Otto Bauer. The main thing I'm worried about is the extra daily communist support, but he also has some benefits as well, so go ahead and snag him. So the next focus I'm going to be doing is this one right here. Underneath the Great Austrian Economic Push, this gives us another research slot, and that is really, really good. We're going to take it. Speaking of research slots, we got another one open up. We're going to start tackling the improved infantry equipment one, and then the other support weapons as well. We've got access to MEOs. I'm just going to go ahead and do the basics because the MEOs really don't make all that big of a difference. Just make sure that you grab a buff of some kind. And lucky us, we thwarted the attempt on Wilhelm's life, giving us another 150 political power to do stuff with. And with that extra political power, I am going to be snagging the Central Bank Industrial Concern for an extra reduction to consumer goods to factories, leaving us at only 13, which is fantastic. Make sure you queue up another anti-fascist set of raids once you're out, and you should start to see the graphs shift in your direction, preferably. Now, at roughly this point, we're going to have about 100 army experience, which means I'm going to go ahead and set up my doctrine. This is going to be Grand Battle Plan because it offers a lot of nice defensive bonuses, which are going to be very, very helpful in defending off Germany. We don't need to actually set anything else. We just need to go ahead and grab that and continue to unpause and let things go as they are. Now, we've also got access to more military factories. These are going to go onto towed anti-aircraft, and we're going to set about 5 of these on that. And Volksschule is done. Now, we still need to buy ourselves a little bit more time before we actually dive into the political section of the focus tree again, so next up is going to be this guy right here. I'm not even going to pretend to try and pronounce that. My German classes didn't go that deep, but we want the attack and defense on core territories bonus, and it's only 35 days. Another research slot after that focus, that's going to be support weapon 2. Another research slot gained, this time is going to be excavation 2. And another national focus done. Now, at this point, you can see that my pie chart looks like this. We've got 35% support for the Communist Party, 25% for fascism, and a combination of democracy and unaligned for the rest. This is perfect. So, the next national focus that we're going to be doing is this guy right here, Reichsbund der Österreich, or something vaguely close to that pronunciation. This is going to reduce the popularity of fascism by a flat 5%. This is going to be fantastic for us. Go ahead and start that, but just make sure you do it after they're below 25%. Taking a quick pit stop into the anti-Anschluss measures, there is a medium risk for Germany to Anschluss us right now. This would be much higher if not for the fact that we have a military of 126,000 standing soldiers. This is quite good, and we're just about to the point where we can start to increase these numbers drastically. Make sure you keep the raids going, anti-fascist raids, anti-democratic raids, And as for the next research slot, we're going to be taking radio now. And looks like we got some free civilian factories to be used again. So, you should have more access to military factory slots. Just keep building those in the same states that you've been doing for the entire game. More mills is more stuff, and more stuff is good. National focus done. Now you're going to see something pretty interesting on the pie chart now. 50% support for communism. Now, what we're going to do at this point is actually ban fascism outright altogether. Goodbye, 100 political power, that's gone, and we're going to take a look and see how much support they have for everything. 54% support for the Communist Party is good. This means we can move on to the next focus. And that is going to be root out the Nationals. Now, this is a 35-day focus, and if you read it, it does some interesting things. Change in popularity of fascism, minus 5%. Change in popularity of non-aligned, minus 5%. And change in popularity of communists, plus 10%. Now, it's going to be a little bit hard to change the popularity of fascism by negative 5% and also increase the popularity of communism by 10%. So what actually ends up happening is pretty interesting. We'll go ahead and grab that 35-day focus. And while that plays out, let's go ahead and address some other things. So, min-maxing time. At this point, you've done everything that really needs to be min-max. I suggest just going down into the construction and production phases, and at some point, snag engineering company too. As long as you do all of those things, you will be solid. I'm leaving the rest of this up to you, because you've got the things that matter. Now, in the production tab, we are going to go ahead and change our artillery to the tier 2 variant, and now we're actually going to do something interesting. So earlier, I said that forts are absolutely terrible, and I stand by that. Do you know how many times I've seen Germany just walk through the front door of the Maginot Line? The answer is way too many. So we need a better way of setting up defenses, and that is going to come in one very unexpected place. Let's build an armor variant, shall we? Medium tank design, and we're going to create a variant. So slot 1 is actually going to be the light fixed superstructure, and the second slot is going to be medium armament, medium howitzer. And with these two things in place, we can actually convert this into a self-propelled artillery system. Now, I know these things are generally not considered to be the best, but oh my god, I have found these to be the best form of defense in the game. We'll go ahead and add a small cannon on top of that as well. That's going to increase the production cost a little bit, and we're also going to set this as the diesel engine because I am not concerned with speed in the slightest, and this is what we're going to be rocking with. This guy with 52 soft attack. We'll just go ahead and save that, and we're going to start producing a lot of these. Pretty much every factory you get from this point on is going into these. I'll take 3 off of the infantry equipment, we'll finish off the towed anti-aircraft, and now we're building a lot of medium self-propelled artillery. These things are beautiful, but we won't be building a division with them yet. Instead, we're going to unpause and let ourselves root out the nationalists. Now, right before this finishes, I need to explain something else. Spoiler warning, but we are eventually going to need 60% support for communism in order to avoid a civil war. And this is the last focus that actually changes any of the flat rates of ideologies at all. So, I know there's going to be a little bit of variation in your game if you try this. If you have at least 55% support for the Communist Party, you should be fine. But if you ever feel like it could be a little bit close, you do have the option to ban democratic parties as well, and you may need to take that. I don't think I'm going to need to take that for this video, so we're going to keep letting that play out all the way. And done. Now, you'll notice that a lot of the values do not line up 100%. That's because that focus is just a little bit weird in how it treats everything, but we've essentially gained about 13% support for Communist Party directly, which means we are fine, and we can move on to the next focus, which is going to be emergency measures. We don't even care about this. We get some bonuses, yeah, but what we really care about is flipping ideology, because what's happened, we're actually fascist right now. 0% support for fascist. I don't know why they took over the government, but they're in charge now. But that means we can do some interesting stuff, primarily justify a war goal on Hungary. Now, the reason for this will become very, very clear once we actually do it, but we're going to justify a war goal. It's going to take about 230 days. Do this as quick as possible. Hungary can be a massive thorn in your side if you don't take care of it now. Checking back on anti-Anschluss, we're at a medium risk. This is fine. And our actual military size is about 150,000. Now we've got another event to deal with. Nazis in the government. Germany's trying to meddle in our affairs. They want to put this man right here in as one of our political advisors, and while he's not the worst guy ever, we're gonna tell them no, absolutely not, mainly because allowing him in will make the Anschluss easier for Germany, and we are going to fight them at every step of the way. Absolutely not. We lose some political power, and we should get hit with, yep, there it is. 2 more events just popped up. We'll take care of this one first. Change in opinion. Basically, one of your advisors has changed his opinions on fascism, and you're going to allow him to do that with the bottom decision. That's all right, and now, the one that I actually care about. Germany is putting on the pressure for us to put that guy in our political advisors. We are still going to say no, and they're going to hit us with a negative 100 political power for it. It's going to hurt, but we're absolutely going to tell them no. Now, on the bright side, because the risk is only medium, I believe they are going to back down pretty much instantly. Yep, there it is. German Reich ends effort to install Author Says in Quark. And that's it. That's the end of it. You don't get any political power back for it, but at least they're not pressuring us anymore. Now, I don't know exactly what causes that to trigger. All I know is that I've been on medium risk every single time, and they have always backed down. But now we can go back to what we were doing. And this is where things are actually going to start ramping up pretty quickly. Now, as a minor note, make sure that you are actually trading for resources in order to build these big self-propelled artillery guns. I do a little bit of trading with Portugal and a little bit of trading with France. Just 2 civilian factories for each. That keeps our production good. We need to store up probably a few hundred of these. So just make sure you're producing them quickly. And the next focus is finished. Emergency measures is done. Now for the one that really matters, reclaiming Red Vienna. Normally this will start a civil war, but because we have more than 60% support for the Communist Party, it will not, and it will simply flip our ideology, and it is actually pretty important that we go communist. And I'm going to show you why once we do. And the focus is done. We are officially communist. Check out this guy right here. New leader, Alfred Klar. Gives us more political power, more research speed, and daily communist support. And now, we can actually begin to do some interesting stuff. So next up, limited conscription's got to move up to extensive conscription. We need more manpower. Along with that, we're going to add a spirit of the army, and this is going to be ideological loyalty for the extra weekly manpower of 500. That is a lot of manpower. That is about 2,000 every month. And for reference, we make about 200 every month. So this is going to help us punch well above our weight. Snag that. And now we actually need to mess with our armies. So now we actually need to edit our infantry divisions. For what these guys are right here, they are not good enough. So we're going to add support artillery on the end, and we're also going to beef up the infantry a little bit. Now, I don't quite have enough altogether to do everything I want. We're going to need a little bit more army experience than that, but we'll save this as is right now, just so the army can begin to correct itself. And if I'm entirely honest, the rest of the focus tree really doesn't matter all that much. I will say, though, I am not going to grovel at the feet of the Soviet Union. That is not happening. I'm taking on Germany by myself, so we will be taking the raiding old military stockpiles path. This is the stand on your own path, and it also gives you access to another research slot. But I think I'm going to go ahead and finish off the rest of the military focuses for right now. And I will also cap my military training to 6 units altogether. And because we've got more civilian factories, we're going to build more infrastructure and another batch of military factories in that state as well. We're pretty much building nothing but mills because we're going to need a lot of fighting power altogether. Now, we've still got about 100 days left before our war with Hungary. That should be fine. The main thing we are missing right now is manpower. And quite a bit of it at that, but that is going to get fixed slowly, especially with this extra 500 weekly manpower. Now, since we're about a little under 100 days left till the war with Hungary, I do need to adjust my division template just a little bit more than it already is. So I'm actually going to set this to only be 5. We're not going to dump any more in training divisions. Instead, I'm going to need to actually adjust this template a bit, and we're going to need a lot more artillery. So let's add at least 1 artillery to this base so that we have some pushing power. Save that, and we'll see what our deficit looks like. Okay, we're down on about 300 artillery. That means I'm going to actually shift a bit of my production to more artillery. Take some off the gun. That should work. At least help fix a lot of the deficit as is. It is pretty paramount that we take down Hungary as quickly as possible. So we're going to need a lot of soft attack. We're going to need to blow them all up. And I think next focus I want to do is actually boost my recruitable population by a factor of plus 10%. So let's do heeding the call of duty. Overall, we're missing just under 100,000 manpower. That will begin to fix itself as time progresses. I'm going to go ahead and move all my guys over to here and also give them a bit of a fallback line so that we can hopefully kill Hungary quickly. And let me go ahead and grab this infantry expert as well. More attack. And I'm going to change out my field marshal on this army group to be Mr. Franz Bomi with his 8 attack. That is going to be insane for us. And we'll also stop training because it's more important to actually have all of our gear in place. We'll get entrenched on this back line a little bit. And we're just about 20 days left. Now, in theory, Hungary shouldn't be that much of a problem. Our divisions aren't maximum strength, but we're only going up against Hungary, and I have faith that my guys can at least beat them. I will also go ahead and grab grab this Wilhelm Zenner dude that we prevented from getting assassinated. Extra division recovery rate is gonna be nice. And with that, the war should be just about to fire. Yep, there it is. Let's get it. So, declare war. We're declaring this immediately. And the goal is to do as little fighting as possible while still coming out on top. So, we're gonna do a little bit of micromanaging on this guy. We're gonna get the option to bring back Mr. Godwin von Brumowski, and in my test runs, it really doesn't matter what you take, so you know what? Sure, we'll just grab him. That's fine. Now they're going to attack us like the little freaks that they are, and while they do that, I'm going to puncture them straight through the middle. And remember to attach everybody back onto this front line. Hit the middle, hit the middle. We'll try to snap their lines quickly. If all goes well, that should work. You go here, you go here, you also go here. Pin, stop, pinned. Hopefully that pins everybody. And no, they're wanting to actually fight me. Let me bring out my Air Force, actually. All right, we hold off. Are they going to rearrange? Seems like they are. I think we can close this pocket here. Mutinies in the army. That's a little bit sad, but we'll just take this bottom one. That should be all right. Close them out. Close this pocket. You're not getting away, man. Pop these divisions right here. Nice. And everybody go back. Minimize casualties. Maximize their casualties. And everybody back on the front line. And annihilate the middle. Or, no, if they're going to collapse on the middle, let's hit this. Nope, no escape for you. You stay in that pocket and perish. Thank you very much. You hold, you hold. A lot of micro. We've got 10 stacked right here, and we're going to try and punish them for that. That's stupid. What are you doing? Go to Budapest, man. Oh, he's pushing us. All right, they're being completely idiotic and stacking their entire military in one spot. Awesome. Yeah, let's just pop all this. Never mind, they're last standing. The cowards won't fight me for real. That's a little bit sad, but we can work with it. Punch through the middle. The supply is terrible, but this war should be all but over. Nope, nope, you don't get to block that. Stop right now. There's Budapest, and now we can crush this pocket. Nope, they've gone back to last standing. Cowards, fight me. Fine, you want to last stand? I'll delete your unit. How about that? All right, third time's the charm. Can I kill them all now? Nope, they still go immediately into last standing. They do not want to lose those guys. That's fine. We'll just take this last little bit here. All right, well, they went for the encirclement, and they lost it, and I won. So, screw you. Die. Oh, am I gonna get it this time? Oh, I'm getting it this time. I know this is dumb, but I want the adrenaline. Oh, nice. Nice. All right, I gotta end this war. I'm taking way too many casualties from supply shortages. I gotta start building some trucks. Trucks to the front. Trains to the front as well. Good, 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 good. More military factories being built. And let's put an end to the Hungarian menace. Gimme Gyur. Thank you. Thank you very much. So, now I'm sure you're all wondering, why exactly did we even go to war with Hungary to begin with? And the answer is no, I'm not trying to conquer land. Instead, I'm doing something much more beneficial, ensuring they don't stab me in the back later. And the best way of doing that is actually making them a puppet. So I am just going to make the entire state of Hungary into one giant puppet. Submit that demand, and I'm also going to take all of their resource rights. Submit that, and we're pretty much good. That's all we needed. But I guess we can also take war reparations as well. Might as well. Submit that, confirm, we're done. And now, later on, because they are our subject, they are not going to open up a new front line on us when we're in the middle of a war, which is going to be very, very good. So, everybody, go back to the German front. Decisions on Anschluss, it's still medium. We gotta start building up fast. We got more manpower in, that's good. We're gonna build another 6 of our basic infantry divisions, and now we are also going to design a new template. So, edit this one. We got our base version. We do need to add a second level of artillery to it and an anti-aircraft support. So, do that, save it. This is going to be our base model for everything. This is what we need to make sure is completely equipped. I find that this is the best for actually holding the front. It just works. Now, we're going to duplicate this and create another template as well, and this is going to be our big anchor divisions. These are going to contain our self-propelled artillery, and we're going to add exactly 4 on this. This creates a division with over 300 soft attack and a combat width of only 26. The Germans are going to have an incredibly difficult time pushing through this. This is also going to be our elites, and I'm going to refer to them as the Anchor Battalion. Save that, and we actually need to train some of these as well. We're going to train 2 and 2 batches of them. The main thing we need is manpower, which is good. It means we've created enough self-propelled artillery to support this. Everything is shaping up to be fantastic. Now, with our political power at this point, we can actually start to use some of these Anschluss measures. We can do the emergency military factory construction. That'll be fine, because that's the main thing we're building. And we can go ahead and add a grand battle plan theorist as well. We got a little bit of stuff stockpiled after that war, so that's all good. And at this point, the next thing that we're doing is simply preparing for war with Germany. We'll put it off as long as possible, but eventually they are going to attack us. We can cut down on our trading because we have resources from Hungary, saving us even more factories. And I'm just going to continue to go down the right side communist path. We can get even more recruitable population factor, this time plus 15% for the People's Army. We're taking that because manpower is going to be our biggest shortage by a long shot. We're still missing about 50,000 manpower. That's fine. It's all still being used by new divisions. Everything should be good. Got more MEO stuff, blah, blah. I don't care. And we'll build more infrastructure in Tyrol with some civilian factories and begin to build up our anti-aircraft defenses so that we don't get annihilated when the Germans show up with their Luftwaffe. There's the People's Army done. We've got quite a few modifiers for extra total manpower, 140% of what we would. Just out of Austria, we're making 532 per month with the extra 500 weekly manpower. It's about 2,500-ish per month, which is good. Very good. Move on to properly trained. This gives us a lot of militia bonuses, but we're not using militia, so I don't care about the militia bonus. And we can also go ahead and start doing state garrisons in all of our states. We're preparing for defense. This is going to help quite a bit. Let's go ahead and knock it out. Now, I've got access to new guns at this point. We're going to do a whole new readjustment on all of our logistics. We should have enough medium self-propelled artillery guns to last us the whole game, so we're going to start taking some factories off of that. We'll just leave the 5. We'll swap over to the next infantry equipment template. We'll put 5 on that, and then put another factory on trucks and one more on trains. We'll check to make sure we've got enough. I do want to run absolutely everything under trucks so that we don't get supply debuffs like I'm currently getting because I'm an idiot sometimes and I forget to do things. How many trucks do we actually need? It looks like we have maybe enough. The main thing we need is trains, so I may stick another factory on trains as well. And we'll keep pushing down the communist side of things. This next one gives us access to an interesting advisor. She's known as the Grandmother of Anarchy, and I'll go over her once we get her, but I probably won't be using her because she's not that great, at least not for us. I'll go ahead and shift over to war economy. I probably could have done that earlier, but oops, I forgot. And that leaves us at only 10% of our factories on consumer goods, which is fantastic. Another batch of infantry, we'll throw them onto the front line, and that gives us a very healthy number of divisions to man the front. Still missing out on some manpower. We're actually missing about 10,000, so that's not bad. We have a standing military of 450,000 men as Austria without conquering anybody. This is the only reason Germany still can't do the Anschluss, even though it's 1940. And you'll begin to notice that Germany is a little bit cock-blocked. They haven't been able to do the Anschluss, which means they can't do the Sudetenland, they can't do Czechoslovakia, they can't go into Poland, and they can't go into France. So, what have they been doing instead? They got their war goal on the Soviet Union. And I'm gonna go ahead and give you a spoiler warning. This is gonna lead to some very interesting German behavior in the future. You know, the AI is intended to do the Anschluss, and when they can't do it, they lose their mind. But you'll get to see that in a little. And more of state garrisons, that's all right, increasing our defense even further. And if we look right here, our anchor divisions are now done. So what exactly are we going to use these guys for? Well, if we check the statistics, they have about 324 soft attack on base. If we were to say, you know, get these guys entrenched on the front lines behind a river, they begin to absolutely shred because of the percentage buffs. Remember, percentage buffs are stronger when the base numbers are higher, so if we were to take these guys, we'll add them to their own military army. We'll find a guy that's decent at most things. This man worked for me in the past, so we're going to use him again. We'll attach him to this army, and I will change his color to something recognizable. We'll do the purple. Purple seems like, doesn't move to me. And just to keep in touch with everything, I'm going to make you yellow so that I can navigate when I need to. So, along the front line with Germany, there is exactly one point that is weaker than every single other point. It should be pretty obvious if you played this game at all, and that is this one right here with the 7 stack on it. This is exposed by 4 separate provinces, meaning they can open up a massive combat width on us, and it also means that any forts that we stick here are going to get annihilated instantly. So, these boys are going to set fallback line right here, and that is it. That's all they're going to do. They're going to hit there, and then they are going to get entrenched with a maximum entrenchment of 17% right now. That is okay, but that's why we're going to change out this man right here for the better equipped Alfred Jansa. And the reason he is better is because he can actually take defensive doctrine, which increases the max entrenchment plus 30%. Now, instead of 17% max, it is 22% max entrenchment, but it also doesn't stop there. We can also snag a Spirit of Division Command Static Warfare for another max entrenchment of 10%. Stacking entrenchment is really, really strong. And with this last one, I think I will just go ahead and take Bold Attack so that once we're done defending, we can go back and put the hurt on them. And with my next focus tree, I'm going to go ahead and take this right here, reestablish Rote Hilf, because that actually gives me a good political advisor. Unlike the Grandmother of Anarchy that reduces my stability, gives me more communist support, which is good, and more war support, which is good, and 10% recruitable population factor is okay, but there's a different advisor that is better. Now, let's see. Manpower seems to be our biggest short right now. If I add 2 new divisions, do I actually have enough self-propelled artillery? I do, so I'm going to actually make a few more than this. I just hope that I get enough manpower. I'm actually going to make that a high priority. What is our manpower shortage rate at point? Not bad, not bad. We'll take that. I'll build up more land forts, I suppose. And we're now at the point where we're actually building up our defenses properly. So the only place that I really want to build a fort is definitely this spot right here. It is the weakest one. The fort is going to die, but it should give us a leg up early. And honestly, that's about it. We'll go ahead and queue that up just so I know for a fact it gets built. And next focus is going to be New Beginning because I want this extra research slot. That'll be nice. And as stated earlier, I'm going to replace Mr. Otto here with the new advisor that I get, which is the Red Helper. She gives us an extra 30 weekly manpower and daily communist support, plus 0.03. So she is just better. This equates to about 120-ish manpower per month, whereas the extra recruitable population would increase it by maybe 60 per month, so it's just better to take her for more manpower. But once we have a setup just about like this, we are ready for the Germans to declare war on us. Now, it's May 1940, and if we scroll up, the risk of Anschluss is still only medium. Remember, in history, this is supposed to happen March 13th of 1938, so it has been more than 2 years later than what was supposed to happen. We have prevented it by simply making our military that much stronger and getting rid of fascism altogether. But it will still eventually happen, and we gotta be ready for it to happen as soon as it does. But Germany is doing a little bit of a freak out, if I'm honest. They don't know what to do. They can't do anything until they've declared war on Austria. Now, does that mean that France will ever take advantage of that time and get rid of disjointed government? No, absolutely not. And there's Romania joining the Axis already. Which means we've got Axis over there, over here, and up here, but no Austria. Not yet. And we've almost got our entire military fielded with everything that they need. Awesome. We'll check to make sure none of the troops are too poorly trained. Looks like they are fine. We are a little bit low on supplies. We'll see if we can fix any of that. Our fort right here is almost done, which is nice. And I can snag my next research slot. And, that's interesting. The German Reich actually declared war on the Soviet Union. None of you have borders with each other. What are you doing? You still haven't done the Anschluss, man. Are you this scared of me? I know someday they'll do it. There we go. Anschluss risk is now high. They're getting ballsier. They're thinking about it, but, well, I may have over-prepared. The German AI is shooting itself in the foot yet again in the middle of my video. But once they're up too high, we can actually do a recruitment push, and this will give us an extra 100 manpower every single week for a year once it's done after the 50 days, which is, it's good, it's good. Got another improved land fort. We'll just build another one there, I guess. And at this point, I don't even know what to research. Let's just go down the line. Ahead of time on artillery? Why not? Why not? You guys have enough manpower yet? Not. You're working on it. I swear, if Germany actually just doesn't do the Anschluss, I'm gonna be mildly upset, but that's gonna be hilarious. Well, I guess while I wait for them to get their act together, I just keep going through my focus tree. Come on, Germany, you gotta fight me one day. There's Bulgaria in the Axis. Fighting Russia was definitely not the first war I thought would happen. You know, on the off chance that maybe Germany is a complete and total moron, I'm just gonna go ahead and set up a plan of engagement here. Because if they don't bring more troops than this, they're gonna get trounced. Do not underestimate me, man. I will bury you. All right, it's now finally imminent, so yeah, we're almost 1941. Eventually, it will go low enough where it doesn't matter, but I guess we just keep garrisoning the lands, I suppose. Will they actually do it? Italy declared war on Greece. Kingdom of Greece joined the Allies, and now Italy's at war with France, and Germany's at war with France. Germany, you were supposed to fight me! What are you doing? This wasn't what I prepared for. Are you kidding me? All right, I guess we go with this then. Well, it still says imminent, so is it even gonna happen? Sir, I'm feeling just a little bit disrespected right now, I'm not gonna lie. Lithuania joined the Axis, and Poland's at war with the Soviet Union. Also, there's no way Poland joins the Axis, right? I'm still waiting on this imminent Anschluss to happen. No? All right. We'll get it one day. I can't help but feel like they've given up. I didn't know this was possible. Huh? Will they, I guess they're just not interested. Well, there goes Romania. Bye-bye. And, there goes Bulgaria by extension. Greece is winning. You know, I can't lie. This is not what was supposed to happen. Why? I didn't know this was possible. I didn't know you could completely circumvent the Anschluss. It just didn't happen. It still says imminent. Would you just do it? I built myself to play defense against you, and now you're not even showing up. You've scammed me, sir. I don't know how to feel. And there's Japan declaring war on America. So you've got the US at war with Germany too? Yes, you do. This wasn't supposed to happen at all. Well, I got my next batch of anchor guys down. Italy's gone and Italy's dead. Cool. Huh? Yugoslavia joined the Axis? Why? Why would you do that? Are you dumb? They declared war on Iran. Now the Yugoslavia's in. This is... What is this? What am I looking at? What is happening? Germany, you were supposed to fight me. It still says imminent. Yeah, sure, man, I believe you. I don't think I have ever played a game of Hoi 4 that's been accidentally so successful that I didn't have to go to war at all. What am I witnessing right now? You've got the world's fattest Greece down there with a Romania completely annexed by Russia, Czechoslovakia, Hungary, and Austria still just chilling in the middle of everything. Poland is on the same fighting side as the Germans, and across all of that, France is pushing Germany through the Maginot Line. How are we already at the race to Berlin in 42? How is Poland outlasting Germany? What am I witnessing? Huh? I guess I just have a border with France now. Risk of Anschluss is now medium, you don't say. I see. Well, I guess we learned something today. If you prevent the Anschluss from happening for way too long, eventually Germany will declare war on Russia and screw itself. Isn't that cool? I've never been blue-balled by a game harder in my entire life. Oh my god, we're back to imminent Anschluss. Wait, but why? Why? Are you gonna declare war on me, Mr. Conrad? Is that what you're gonna do? There's no way they actually still try to do the Anschluss, right? I'm looking at their focus tree. Do I just start spying on them to find out? Hold on. We'll do that. Well, I guess we integrate Hungary. Sure. Ah, okay, I see. You have spied on them enough to see that it is not available when your country has capitulated. I think they capitulated. Well, I guess I need to explain what the initial plan even was. Now, this army line that you see right here will hold against Germany. They're built to be defensive. Let them entrench. They'll do their job. Eventually, once they declare war on you, they will do the Sudetenland, which will open up these 4 provinces right here as German land. You can snipe this fort right here, then take the other 2, creating a front line up here, and then once they finally annex Czechoslovakia, just hold a few guys over here, and you'll be okay. This is how the plan was intended to go. Eventually, they will declare war on the Soviet Union, but I guess I held out so long that they just went ahead and did that anyway. Then once they do that, you can begin to make push it yourself. Eventually, Italy will show up, but that's why you just have 3 lines right here in mountains, and you can defend against them pretty well. Hungary prevents Romania from jumping you, but yeah, I don't think anything else is going to actually come of this. Alright, well, war in Japan should be coming to a close any minute now, and it's done. And I guess since I have to leave you guys with something, let's go and annex Hungary. Boop! Socialist Republic of Austria, look at that, nice and neat right there. Sure, we gotta throw it all under occupation again, but ending off with 1,000,000 fielded manpower as Austria prevented the Anschluss altogether. I didn't even know that was possible. So yeah, apparently communism's good for something after all. But anyway, that's gonna conclude stopping the Unschluss as Austria. Goodbye. And don't forget to give Raid Shadow Legends a try with the QR code or my link in the description or pinned comment of this video.